Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Zupo's SEO Talking Tea. Today's conversations. Two different sites means two different SEO campaigns. I know that sounds so obvious, but I'm going to detail why this is an important conversation. There's a lot of companies who think about creating a new offshoot of a website or a new subdomain, and I don't think they realize the implications. But before we begin, we have a new entrant today. This is a new tea that we haven't had on the shows. This is a Gaoshan oolong tea. So this is I guess the direct translation is like a tall mountain oolong. And so this is one that I haven't had really on the show. And I'll be honest, the first couple times I've had this tea, I haven't enjoyed it. But I want to give it another shot. I think this tea is a pretty popular tea, so I can't see why I just did not enjoy it so much. So I'm giving it another shot today. Well, let's go ahead and get brewing, get chatting. So the reason why I'm having this conversation is I want to just have a chat about the context. Oftentimes when I'm working with this site, sometimes the businesses I work with or the clients I work with, they can be quite complex. They can work with many different softwares, services, or different business services, and often the site can become large. And I have worked with clients where they're concerned that the size of their site is a little bit too complex in that a user who came to their site would be a little bit too confused. So what they have often thought about is let's create 4 different websites or 2 different websites, one for each business sector of our site. Now, functionally, I guess that would create a better user experience because someone who would land on the site would be directly interacting with the services that they care the most about. But the other thing that I want to mention is on an SEO level, that has a lot of implications, and we need to slow down there. Anytime you are branching out your site to 4 different sites, that means 4 different SEO campaigns. And this is where I know it sounds obvious in the beginning, but we need to understand the implications. What we're talking about here is what we talk a lot about SEO on this channel. We talk a lot about domain rating, the link building, content, driving content and links to your website, trying to build exposure in your domain rating, and so on and so forth. If you split your site up into 4 different websites, that means you have to now start measuring 4 different content libraries, 4 different domain ratings, 4 different link portfolios. Not to say that's impossible. That is definitely an option. But what you don't want to do is if you're a company and you're starting an SEO or you're trying to get started and you're trying to compete against big competitors, splitting your SEO assets up into 4 different properties might actually hurt your chances because now you've weakened themselves out. There is always a way, I believe, in that even if your business is complex, to have everything on one domain and then just have the design and user interface still conducive to users finding where they need to be, but also leveraging having one domain and having all the SEO assets and value on one site. I would highly encourage you, if you're thinking about splitting up your site to different subdomains or different sites, really think about it because every link that goes to a different site cannot go to your site at that one moment. And so suddenly you're managing 4 different things. And managing one site for SEO purposes is already an ordeal. Managing 4 is quadrupling it by 4. And therefore, when you're reaching out for link building purposes, you have 4 different websites. And so people are going to say, why, you have 4, which one do I pick? And they're not going to just randomly link to 4 all at once. So there's a lot of implications here. So I would really encourage you, before you start branching out too much, really understand when it comes to SEO, it can really hurt and dilute what you're working on, and it might actually defeat the purpose. You're trying to create a better user experience, but because you split your site into 4, it may not rank anymore, so no one's going to even be there anymore. So this strategy, now I will say, is fine for like PPC or paid advertising because you're driving traffic through your dollars. But when it comes to SEO and trying to rank, it can be quite not non-conducive. I would say it can be quite a problem to be doing that. So I'd encourage you, if you're thinking about branching on the site, I really encourage against it. I think there are definitely ways you can be a little bit more creative and keep it all on one domain. But I'm going to leave it at that, guys. I'm going to go ahead and pour out this tea, but we're going to give it another shot. Now, it's a little unfair, I will say. It is really hot today, and this tea is brewed really hot, so it might just be too hot to enjoy, but let's do a live taste test. This is, again, a tall mountain oolong tea. It smells good. Yeah, it smells good. It's better this time. It's still a little bit bitter. It's like too bitter. I'm I'm not that expert yet, so I think I'm gonna need to sit on it a little bit more. But I would say, hey, this time wasn't so bad. But oftentimes with tea, you need to drink it for more than 30 minutes to really know if you like it or not. But okay, I hope you guys enjoyed the video today. If you did, please like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks, everybody.